way that you create art is crazy how it evolves. I actually brag about you to people.
I've always just want to like create art that's like very immersive.
Like, how do you form a community? Because I think that's challenging for a lot of people.
See what people are good at and give them opportunity to shine.
And tell me a little bit about how Cosmic Demise started, man. Like, where'd the idea come from? What was you doing?
Well, it all started when...
Hey, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing today? It's your boy, Mannie Williams. Today, we're out here with the great Ali out here. I met Ali. Actually, you know what? Let me actually compliment your Cosmic Demise fit that you got on right now. You know, showcase the shorts real quick. Showcase the shorts.
Got the Cosmic Demise jorts on deck. I got the pockets on the side. Got the pockets up here. Pockets at the front. Got the gold, brown, seamless. And got the Cosmic Demise iconic spray paint graphic that I designed. And we are out here on a very lovely day in Santa Monica, California.
Let them know, baby. Let them know. So, yeah, man. So, what actually drew me was your clothes. So, I actually met him at Santa Monica Pier a couple years back when I was doing Spectrum News. And I was like, yo, like, he got like this artistic style. He got a community. He out here doing this thing. And tell me a little bit about how Cosmic Demise started, man. Like, where'd the idea come from? What was you doing?
Well, it all started when I was 2 years old and I had a dream. No, I'm kidding. But I've been drawing since I was like, before I knew how to read and write, I always been drawing. And every time a teacher would ask the class what they wanted to become when they become older, and I would always say an artist. And once I became in middle school and high school, that dream was starting to become harder and harder to create in real life, because I would make these paintings and comic books and no one really wanted to buy them. And I would try to do graphics for other clothing brands, but they would just rip me off, like say they'll pay me, but they didn't. And then I came across a friend of mine at Santa Monica High School named Maximilian, and he had his own clothing brand. And I asked him, like, yo, like, how did you start your clothing brand? And like, he was pretty much like, just figure it out yourself. And I was like, you know what? I will. So I just Googled it, and I went to downtown Los Angeles, the fashion district. I took the bus after school on my solo and talked to the manufacturers who have the blank clothes. And I got the clothes, and it was very intimidating at first because I was 16 years old. I was trying to get it printed, like my artwork on the clothes. And before I did that, I drew out the design that I wanted to do, and I would go up to my friends in lunchtime and I would hand them my graphics that have different colors of it. And I had a tally mark, and I told them, pick which ones that you like. So they all wrote the tally marks, and the ones who got the most tally marks, I did that design. So I went to one of my old high school friends from a previous high school that I went to before Santa Monica High School, which was VAPA, or Grand Arts. It's like a visual performing arts school in downtown. And he was kind of like a shady type of dude, like gangbanger wannabe type of guy.
Wannabe.
Yeah. And he said, oh yeah, my cousin, he screen prints clothes, and he said it's X amount of dollars. So at the time, like, I didn't have a job or anything, but one of my best friends named Harlan, his mom let me do chores around the house, and I would get like $12 an hour. So I stacked up a couple of dollars for a couple of weeks of working, and I gave this gangbanger wannabe all my money to get my clothes made. And then a couple of days later, he finishes the clothes, and it was like, all right, so I'm gonna need a little bit more money. And I'm like, bro, I just gave you all of my money. And I was like, bro, like, come on. And then I tell my mom the situation, and she gave me what she had and allowed me to get the clothes made. And once I got those made, I came through to school, and all these people who wrote down the tally marks, I was like, I got the clothes. Now, you want to buy it? And fortunately, I had amazing supportive friends who bought my clothing. And it's great that I started in high school because it's a place where a lot of people in the same age go to the same area every day. So when people wore my brand, other people around it would see it, and my friends would be wearing it. Then their friends found out about it and they wanted to get it. And at the time, it's not allowed to sell anything on campus, so I had to do it low key. Like, you have to meet me up in my locker at lunch to do it, be secretive, or do it after school. And I was able to get other schools to find out about it. And what really took it to the next level is that I created events. And my first ever event was in 2017. I was a senior, and I was never like a popular kid in school. Like, I would just hang out with the skaters, and the popular kids like didn't really like pay me any mind. But when I threw this event, it's like the whole school came. Like, the popular kids came to my event, and it was a music concert, and it was actually at the Pico Youth and Family Center's building they had on Pico and Lincoln, and they gave me a shot to let me have their venue for the night. And it went so crazy, like, so many people was trying to show up. There was so much chaos with the mosh pits, crowd surfing, because there was rock music that I had to shut down like an hour into it. So that was like the start of a great thing.
Dang, man, that sounds epic. I know, what it reminded me of was back when I was selling candy in high school too. It was kind of like the hustle mentality, so I could definitely relate to that. Man, that's fascinating, dude. Well, it actually caught my eye. That's why I was looking like, yo. But I was definitely impressed though. Like when you start throwing events, I went to your skating event, and I was just like, yo, it was just the amount of support that you had. And I guess my biggest question is like, how do you form a community? Because I think that's challenging for a lot of people. They might have like an idea or something like that, but I think a lot of people are looking for community or support. And how did you happen to like? What's the biggest advice or tip that you give someone that just wants to build a community of support?
To see the superpowers in others, like, see what people are good at and give them opportunity to shine. Like, there's a really heavy music scene here in LA, and before the pandemic it was very thriving. Like, when it comes to DIY shows, like young teens, young adults creating their own events and having musicians, their friends, to perform at their events. So I was noticing that. So, same thing with skateboarding. There's a lot of skaters who are intimidated by other great skaters, and especially skate contests. So I wanted to give people who are not the best at skating the same opportunity that a pro skater may feel like when it comes to you doing what you love doing, which is skating, and then a crowd of people clapping for you, cheering you on, and like all eyes are on you. Because when that happens, you have beyond adrenaline. Like, you go for things that you normally wouldn't do, and you have like superhero strength pretty much. And I just love seeing that in people, and I'm very grateful that all of my events have been extremely positive, no fights, no one getting hurt. nothing, no arrest or anything chaotic. It's been peaceful, just absolutely amazing. And what is way more beyond money is the fact that I contributed into like a positive moment in someone's life that hopefully they will remember forever. Like they'll be like, yeah, back when I was younger, I went to the Cosmic Demise event and I jumped off the stage and I crowd surfed and everyone was cheering me on. And or like I went to my first ever punk show at the Cosmic Demise event, first ever skateboard award at the Cosmic Demise event. Like that's like really cool to me.
No, it's a vibe, man. The ones I went to, I was amazed. I went to the skate ones. I went to the one I believe you had. It was it the late Metallica's wife? She was up there performing, and so people was mosh pitting and stuff like that. But it was like a nice vibe. Like it wasn't chaotic. It was like organized, but people could still be themselves and have fun. I like what you create as a space of authenticity, and I think it's called just a safe space for everyone to express themselves, where like their dream they can be themselves. There's that edginess, but there's that sense of individuality, but also that community that you set up for them. And it's rare to see that, and for you to actually do that, starting since the idea of being in high school and still um, creating that movement and nurturing it and having that strong foundation is definitely beautiful. So I definitely mess with the whole Cosmic Demise movement. In fact, when you got into clothing, you should use the first person I was asking questions on because I got my little brand right here, Akiyoshi, Black Sheep related. But for me, it's always to represent anyone that feel like a black sheep as well. So that's why I like to align with your brand, Cosmic Demise, because it's just like I see your mission and your purpose of what you're trying to do, and it's very similar to mine. So yeah, man, I love it. I love it. I know that you're also a creator. You do a lot of videos, you do a lot of work and stuff along the lines of, um, I mean, I've seen you create like 3D modeling. I've seen you create, man, the way that you create art is crazy how it evolves. I actually brag about you to people because I'm like, yo, this dude, like, not only does he do great edits, but he's like learning how to do like, you mess around with Blender, right? See, yeah, if y'all know what Blender is, I don't even know what that is, but I'm like he's messing around with Blender and programs. What has gotten you into that, and where are you trying to take it to?
Well, I love video games. That was like my favorite thing doing growing up besides skating. And I've always just want to like create art that's like very immersive. Like you feel like you're there. Like, when you watch a movie, you like forget about reality for a minute. Like you feel like you're in that world. So I really like world building, and it's been a evolution for sure. Like I started off scribbling on paper, then painting, then doing graphic design, like digital art, and then 2D animation, which combining my drawings and then cutting it up on Photoshop in different layers, and then in After Effects I would move my drawings and give life into them. And I do want to give a shout out to one of my mentors named Bam Barcena. He put me under his wings. He's a creative director for the brand Rokit. At the time, was during my high school years starting off my brand, and he would give me guidance on how to pursue being a professional creative person. And he gave me the opportunity to first be an intern for him, and then eventually he put me on the team, and he gave me different tasks that I normally wouldn't do on my own, so that pushed me out of my comfort zone, and that got me more tech savvy. And then I moved into 3D animation, which you mentioned Blender. Started off with Blender and then moved to Unreal Engine, which is a video game developing software, which is also good for like filmmaking and other 3D animation. But what's actually funny about how I got into 3D animation is that you need a really good computer, right?
Oh yeah, you need a monster.
Yeah. And I didn't have that, but I did know one place that had it: Santa Monica College. So after high school, I tried college, see what they knew, and then during this time, I got the internship with Rokit, my mentor, Bam Barcena, and I was learning more from him than I was in college. So I dropped out of college, and fast forward to 2023, I noticed that they have a computer room, and I can just walk in. It's unlocked. I touched the computer, and I was like, "This on?" And then I see it's on, and it needs a password. So one of my friends, I'm not gonna say the name. I don't know if SMC is watching me.
Confidential.
So I asked for his password because he was a student at the time. Thank you for letting me use your password. It saved me a lot. You have no idea. But basically, I pretended to be a college student at Santa Monica College. I would sneak into their computer lab, use his password. They had all the 3D software that I didn't have that I needed. And I had to be very low key about it. And it was kind of like sketchy doing it because, like, I wasn't supposed to be there, but no one really like bothered me because I would like bring my backpack and I have like a clean appearance, so like no one really like questioned what I was doing there. But there was this one day, this guy who was a bit not fully there, like mentally. Like I would like see him go to the computer lab because there's like locals there that would come like every other day, and I like would see him, and like he would be like doing his schoolwork, and he would like visual like he would like have outbursts like when he's like frustrated with like his school stuff, which is like abnormal. Like you usually like keep it to yourself, but he would be like he would just yell like loud like when he gets frustrated. So there's one day I was minding my business, like working on a client project, and at the time I was like in a very rush for money at the time, very like dangerous situation I was in when it comes to like rent and stuff. And I was like, I really need to focus on this. Like, I really need this. And no one else was in the computer lab but me. So it's like when you're in the bathroom and it's empty and you're in a urinal, you expect someone to go pee on the other end, not next to me. So this guy walks up right next to me, sits down, works on his computer right next to me, and I'm just like locked in on my thing. But for some reason, he's just staring at me like the whole time he's there. And like I'm noticing it, but I'm like too focused on what I'm doing because it's more important than him right now. And he starts like talking to me, and I'm thinking that like the devil like possessed him or something like that because he was like saying some very like crazy things to me, like, "You're not supposed to be here. You know you're not supposed to be here. Get out of here. Leave." And I was just like not saying a word, just like focusing on what I'm doing. He didn't touch me or anything because like if he did touch me, it would be a different story. But like it's just words, so I'm not gonna let it take me off of my track. But that was like how I got into 3D animation.
Hey man, you did what you had to do though. I've been in situations where like I ain't have no money, and you know how you got like Adobe Premiere Pro and you need that program. So I was like, yo, I'm about to be on the student trial. So I pay the lowest when you graduate, like 2027. So you just sometimes gotta make things work to get to the next goal. I can't ever fault anybody for that. And to me, that always says you have a mindset of trying to work outside the limitations and box to get the goal, which is why you're here. Which is also like why I've seen some of your work through your Instagram, where it actually went to Japan, which is fascinating to me. And even you have on the screen, I believe at Hollywood, it's playing on one of the billboards, electronic billboards over there. So I'm like highly impressed that just the fact that you've been working and if you had to do some things at a college, which makes the story that much more epic to get your shit on Hollywood. I'm like, bro, that's all clutch, bro. Do what you gotta do. I guess my last question to wrap it all up is like, what is your advice you'd give like another creative that's like you? Like, let's say if you speaking to another 16-year-old version of you or 15-year-old version that have the same aspirations and goals, what advice would you give them? Boy, you gotta think about that. Go ahead, marinate on that, baby.
I would say that you have to be more than talented at your art, and you have to develop what you may not be born with, but it's that business mentality, that hunger that you can't buy. You just have to experience the brute force of it. So you have to understand that you have to get used to being uncomfortable, walking up to that person that may have the keys to the opportunity that you want. You gotta let them know who you are. You will never get to where you want to be if you just stay comfortable and just be around your friends that you're already comfortable with. If your friends aren't where you're trying to be at, you have to force yourself to speak. Like the amount of events that I've been to, hey, someone has my money, so I'm gonna make sure I get phone numbers from all the important people, no matter how stupid or desperate I look. Like, yo, if you're not rich or successful, you shouldn't be thinking about trying to look cool or your ego trying to get hurt. Like, I don't know how else to like explain it. Like, it's either you got the like the hustle mentality or you don't, because you can be the most talented person, but nobody will care if you don't show them who you are, package yourself as a professional. I was a professional before I was a professional, if you know what I mean. Like, you got to be the champ before you're the champ by having that mentality. Like, this, I'm him before I'm him.
It's the mindset thing, baby. I feel that. I feel that. Well, yeah, man. Ali, it's been a pleasure, my guy. Gotta do it again. All right, my guy. Check him out. Check me out. Let's get it, y'all. And make sure y'all remember one thing. Y'all stay
Stay
fresh. Y'all stay
fresh.
fresh.